welcome back to another episode of In the Library of Graphic Literature, and today I actually have some things that I want to share with you that I found. And I'm Luna, if you don't know that already, and here's Walter.
Hey! Okay, so what did you find?
Oh, well, it's quite the treat. I was very pleasantly surprised to find a copy of Peanuts.
Oh, yes, the...
But it's like... Oh, hold on, I got like something stuck to it there. Oh, ripping.
I'll hold it up for the people there. It's like a collection of old...
In 1995, it used to be in the
Telegram.
Evening Telegram. I was only 1 year old, so I'm not aware of this, but they had like little inserts briefly.
Yeah. When I was a child, they were huge. But yeah, Frank and Ernest, Peanuts. I love Frank and Ernest. Family Circle. Then, of course, you start to notice that even in here you can notice them getting small. Even Al Cap, that wife-beating drunk, as the Simpsons call him. And The Born Loser, which was actually one of my favourite growing up for some reason.
Yeah, a little piece of Newfoundland history for you.
Yeah, and a bit of cartoon history. Like all of our cartoon fans out there are going to love this, right? And we do have a lot of cartoon strip people out there who are big fans.
And of course, something a little bit more exotic for all of you. I found this at the place of worship of mine. It's like there was a bunch of comics there all over the table, and of course other little books for children and that. But this is what was left, because of course I'm not going to take all of it, but there was a bunch still left that no one took. So we have Shankar Dev. It's a story of a saint in India, and they're like pretty canon stories. And I find the art is pretty nice too, so whoever did these knew what they were doing. They're like completely fallen apart. They're very well loved. Most of the others do not have covers, so it's kind of like a big graphic novel.
Yeah, that's why it was cool to have a look at this, right? Because it really... Oh, yeah.
They're all different stories.
But yeah, any of our Indian... member fans out there?
And the art is so nice.
If you see anything that you recognize here and want to comment out on, tell us. But yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, just being able to read comics like that, and in English too, which makes it all even easier.
We got Here the Milkmaid. And this one.
Yeah, they're kind of cool. There are some people out there who are actually real fans.
And they're in English.
Yeah. There are people out there who are fans of international comics and stuff like that.
We got Indra, which is the sun god. Not sure if anyone of you are familiar with that.
Probably not. Not in America, anyway. So anyway, but yeah, there are people out there who do collect stuff like that, right?
Krishna and the false Vasudeva.
Ta-da!
I'm sure we did an episode one day of your Christian comics, like the Bible themed ones with like Adam and Eve and Cain and Abel.
I mean, I talked about the Bible comic.
Are you sure? I'm pretty sure we did an episode.
Yeah,
one day.
well, we covered it, right? But yeah, they're pretty cool.
Yeah.
Now, back on the temporal plane, we have some new comics.
Yes, some new comics.
Hey, shall I lay them over there for you? But they are pretty cool, and you got them for free too, which is always very cool.
Mm-hmm.
But it's interesting to see comics from the other side of the world, right?
And in English.
Exactly.
Who would have thought?
Which is great, right? Well, considering I guess English is read by so many people over there that...
Well, it is their second language over there, because there's so many languages.
Yeah.
So they got to find a common one.
English is the best.
Well, you got the British to thank for that.
Anyway, speaking of English, I have three books, all in English. And all three of these are actually they are all fairly new. This one here is by, I think this is new, let me double check. This is from, pretty sure it is, this is from Toon Books, same people who put out Bone, and it's by the same artist who puts out Bone, Jeff Smith, yay! And this says, because I haven't read this, after Mama turns out the light, an open closet door reveals some mysterious shadow within. Could be anything, but there's only one way to know for sure. Before he can snuggle down to sleep, little mouse must face a challenge shared by many young readers. Bedtime heebie-jeebies. So yeah, I guess it's a bedtime story. It's all big, fairly big panels. Mushka mushkas all over the place.
Mishka, mushka.
Mishka mushkas. But yeah, I love his style of drawing. It's so Jeff Smith's. It's so simple. Whether he's doing Bone or he did a Shazam, a Captain Marvel book that was absolutely cool. And geez, he's done a few other things besides Bone, although Bone is fabulous. But this I like. I love the cover too.
It's sweet.
Little mouse saves today, and he has a cape. My hero.
You're a child at heart, aren't you?
Yes, I am. You're my personal hero. Anyway, this is something actually from an author who haven't seen. Actually, it's been a few years since his last one. This is basically Craig Thompson and Ginseng Roots. He's best famous for a book called Blankets, which is really cool. The book Habibi, I can remember showing you the cover. One of the most beautiful covers for any graphic novel ever. The book itself wasn't as good as Blankets, and this so far, I've been reading this so far, this is a memoir of his life growing up on a ginseng farm in the States, in Wisconsin, I think it is. So it's kind of cool. He has a really neat style. He talks about a lot of the factual stuff about ginseng and that.
Show the people.
So it's pretty cool, and it's kept to a very straightforward palette too. But very, very, very nicely drawn. I like this guy's stuff. He does great graphic novels. Very dense, but blankets too. It's one about relationships and the sort. It has to be read by all comic book fans because it's fabulous. But this is also really, so far, because I am still reading it, it's pretty good so far. I love his style of drawing though. It has that real innocent look to it. So yeah, I definitely recommend this. And this is from the good folks at this is Pantheon. Okay, but yeah, he's definitely one of my favorites. There was something else he did too. I can't remember. I think it was another travelogue book. Was what he'd done. I do believe. I can't see it anywhere there. But anyway, this is one I am going to read this before, and I'm already reading it. But it's one that I will finish too. And last but not least, by any stretch of the imagination, and you see I have a stack of these books over there, is Dimwood by Richard Corben. Yay! Now this is apparently his last book, which, because in the end, his, what was it, his daughter or his, Corben himself, he plotted it and did the scripts from page 1 to 105, art from page 1 to 120, and then, I guess Jose Villarrubia did the finishes and all that for the last few pages that he didn't finish before he died. But this essentially was Corben's last book. But he had a great realistic style to him. We've actually shown quite a few of his books here on in the library. He was best known for he used to do comics for Warren Comics, doing eerie, creepy, Vampire. Did he do Vampirella? But eerie and creepy anyway. Some of the creepiest comics out there. But he had a really super cool style. He did one time he did a story about a psychopathic Santa Claus. And it was creepy as all get out. But love his artwork. He was one of the first. Actually, he was in heavy metal when it first started out in '77. They Den, the book. There's 5 books of Den that are in this series too. But there's just something very cool and almost photographic about his art. And even back in the 60s and 70s, his art was, it was thought to be revolutionary at the time. Just the coloring, the realism, he was something else. He was always one of my favorites too. He's also best known as, in terms of the general public as the person who did the album cover for Meatloaf, Bad Out of Hell.
Oh, okay.
It's a classic album, and what an album! It was a great rock and roll album, but as a kid when I seen it was Corben, it was just like, oh, I thought that was so cool. Now Meatloaf's second, more unsuccessful album, what was Bad Out of Hell 2 or whatever. Anyway, that had a cover done by Bernie Wrightson, the co-creator of Swamp Thing, who we have actually featured on this show for other stuff.
Yes.
Now, of course, this week you've noticed I'm experimenting with a closer in camera view of us.
So you can actually hear us.
Yeah. La 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 la. Okay. Okay. So you can hear us and worship us as the gods we are. I mean, hear us perfectly, and also so it's not as fair for me to get off to show the comics to the people. Does that sound good?
Yes.
That sounds palatable. Next week, God only knows what we'll do next week. Although I might have one or two new comics in. I think I have coming here. Right? So one way or the other, I think we'll have an episode anyway. That being said, thanks to everyone out there, and I guess go Oilers.
See, when I say that, people get mad.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, we love you all out there. Thanks for having us over. Bye.